Good afternoon, and welcome to the Chester County Marketing Group OnAir show. We run a monthly webcast of about 10 to 30 minutes in length, once a month, in which we share our online business tips, tricks, as well as our expertise. My name is Carla Wilson, owner of Wilson Media Services, and I'm joined by my colleague.
Hey, I'm Jeff Tincher, owner of 610 Digital.
Today we're really going to feature Jeff's expertise because we are broadcasting the information that Jeff presented at our in-person Chester County Marketing Group meeting in February. So what I'd like to do is hand it over to Jeff, and we're going to have some slides to share with you. But before I do that, I want to remind you that if you are watching our show on YouTube or at our website, chescomarketing.com, please feel free to click the little yellow graphic that's at the bottom of the video player. What that will do is navigate you over to our Google event page where there is a Q&A panel. I will be monitoring any questions or comments that are coming in while Jeff is presenting, so please feel free to interact. We love it when we have our audience participating during our show. So again, feel free to enter any questions or comments in the panel just below the video viewer on our Google event page. So Jeff, why don't you take it away?
Sure. Well, thanks, Carla, and happy snow day to all of those that Carla and I said last time we did this. It was a snow day, and there was a lot more interaction with people being home.
Exactly.
For kids like me. So anyway, we're just going to get started here with this presentation. I'm going to screen share so we can just look at some of the slides. Probably won't go into too much of the detail of the back and forth, the web interfaces of these tools on the Hangout. It's a little bit more cumbersome, and I'm not sure it's going to display correctly right now today. So we gave this presentation a couple weeks ago at our live events, like Carla was saying, our in-person events, and I talked about the tools and web apps, kind of just to help people become more efficient in their day-to-day activities, their tasks, keeping track of client issues or client projects, and just keeping track of your life in general. So that's where we're going to start. And first, before that, I just wanted to let everyone know that we, myself, Carla, and Leela Ansar, are going to be running a LinkedIn workshop for using LinkedIn to grow your network and find new leads. We're going to do a half-day seminar workshop in Exton on March 31st. And we will put some, this is also in the show notes and the showcase that's off to the right side of the viewer. You can go to chescomarketing.com, click on our events or our workshop page, and find that. So today, what I wanted to talk about real quick here for the next 15 minutes, 25 minutes or so, is a bunch of different types of apps that are going to help you, one, organize, some file storage or sharing, some automation tools. Knowledge, I called it knowledge. It's really just about reading and getting a lot of information sent to you. And then a really nice website that's put together for any of us who are out there, or freelancers or small business owners that could use some general help when it comes to blog posts, maybe healthcare or insurance or questions about taxes and stuff. It's a great free resource that's out there that has a lot of interesting information and very helpful information. So these, again, are just some of the top, I guess, web apps and tools that myself use and a lot of other people use that that join us at our events in line of this. So, Carla, have you used any of these?
Oh, absolutely. As I was looking at the list, of course, I use Evernote, Dropbox, Google Drive, IFTTT. I use Zapier for a client, and let me look at the list again. Feedly. Oh, I use most of them, actually, and I use Wunderlist because of you telling me about Wunderlist. It's so awesome. So how about you? Which of the resources do you use?
I have been using, of course, Evernote, which I've had now an account for probably 5 years or so, and I think this is the first year I've really started using it. It's one of those that everyone starts off with it. You know, they get a phone, you know, years ago, and they're like, Evernote's great. Let's put everything in there, and then what do we do with it? So there's a lot of things when it comes to organizing your notes, your materials, your images. I mean, that one it's great when it just, there's so much to do, and it can really help and streamline a lot of different things, from if you're going out meeting with clients to other things. So and Wunderlist, like you said, I mentioned that to you a while back. I love that because, one, I can share lists with you know, I can make a client list. If they have the app, we can have a task list on there. Or I share a grocery list with my wife, so we each put items onto one list and go through that way. So and the rest, I pretty much use them all. So I don't use Pocket nearly as much as I used to. I'm now using Feedly as a source of great news and articles, so I don't have to really scour the web for those. I just go in and I say, here's my SEO, here's my social media type articles, and they get fed that way. So really, I kind of started going down the path here of Evernote and how I was using it, and you know, that I hadn't used it for 4 years, and all of a sudden this past year I've used it like probably at least almost the equivalent of 4 years time, because I've been putting everything in and managing it and really cleaning it up so it works efficient for me, and then keeps me in line with what I'm doing with my current client base and other, you know, whether it be client projects and or to-do items that I need to do for personal, any type of growth or knowledge, or also just saving a lot of great articles in a way that then become easily searched. So inside of Evernote, for those who are using it or those who don't know what it's about, it is a storage place in the cloud that can maintain images, links, documents. It can even save some audio. Pretty much, like it says, ever. It can save anything forever. So you can manage your notes, your images, you can collaborate with coworkers now, and what you do is you structure your Evernote by notebooks, and you can even build what's called a stack. So a stack is a group of notebooks. Okay, you create that. So so you can do that. So I have one called clients as a stack, and inside of my client stack, I then have, you know,
one for each client.
Exactly, one notebook for each client. That once I take notes in my awesome moleskin Evernote binder that I bought, that has a special paper that you can scan easily, and it will then transcribe your notes into searchable. It's searchable, and my writing is pretty darn sloppy. And somehow it figures it out and can read the majority of that, and then my notes that I've typed or have written at a client meeting can then be into my Evernote, where I can then search back, tag those with, you know, annotations that say, you know, act on this, this is due by this date, this is this and that. So that is what you can do with a notebook. A tag is much like you tag anything else, like you tag a blog post, you tag anything. So you can tag, you know, client meeting. I can tag that so that I can go back and see all the notes that I've had at any client meeting, or I could tag something SEO or analytics or email marketing, and then anything that comes up, whether it's in all the different notebooks that I have, those tags will then appear in a nice list of search results. So really, this is a great way of, when, you know, we all carry around pieces of paper and notebooks and notepads and such, and it's not fun when you're going off to a meeting or you're doing something and you're like, oh no, I forgot the binder and the notebook that had all my notes in it. Well, if you are like me, you take your notes, you go back, you transcribe them or look at them and read them over to make sure they're clear, shoot a photo of them, now they're in your Evernote. You're never going to forget anything, because now you can access it on your laptop, your mobile device, a tablet, and go back into your regular notebook when you actually find it again.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so there's a link there. You can sign up for a free account, if you see that there on the bottom. And there are professional versions of that give you some more upload capability and a little bit more couple other features that are out there. I have Professional. I got the 3 months free when I bought the special binder, and then I just upped it to a year because I've been finding it very useful for what I need to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so switch over here to Wunderlist. So you said you were using that, right, Carla?
Yeah, because of what you suggested, you share your grocery list with your wife. It's awesome because then I can take my phone to the grocery store, I can check things off the list, or my husband can do the same thing, and it's one shared list. The items come off. You write them in, you know, bananas, apples, almond milk, whatever you're writing, and as you pick it up, you check it off the list. It comes off the list. It's a great tool.
Yeah, it's a very nice tool for definitely for any type of to-do list. People have always said, "Can you do the to-do list in Evernote?" I've seen that. Yeah, you could. You really could. But it's not. To me, it's not as intuitive or as easy to set up as a standalone to-do list app. Wunderlist, there's probably hundreds of different. You know, there's like Todoist, there's To-Do List, there's you know, remember the milk used to be one, and all these things like that. So this one's been making a lot of gains and you know, promoting itself a lot more. There's a lot of nice features when it comes to it. There's even a business version of Wunderlist that you can really build out as a business and put team members in and assign tasks and share lists and you know, comment on them. It even uploads some images in that business type list. I'm using it for travel planning since you know, I'm going to be going on a cruise soon.
Yes.
So we have that checklist on there. I use it for you know, large purchase items that I don't want to forget that I want to get for the house. Because you know, when you have those ideas, you're like, gosh, I really need to get that, but we have to save for it.
Right.
So and you know, kids stuff. These are things that are personal, where you can also pull in my work related. So I put in a lot of tasks that are repetitious throughout the week or throughout the month, and you can put in due dates, reminders. What's nice also is Wunderlist. It will send an alert right to my desktop computer. So if there's something due, I can get an alert, or if somebody adds something to a list that's shared, I'll see it being added in real time without even going to the app itself. It just pops up on my desktop.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And just a reminder to our audience, if you have questions or comments, maybe you're using these same resources, feel free to enter them on the Q&A panel that's just below the video viewer. And if you don't see a Q&A panel, that means you are watching on our website or on YouTube. Simply click the little yellow graphic at the bottom of the viewer, and that will navigate you over to our Google page where we have the Q&A panel. We'd love to hear from you if you are using these same resources, or maybe you have other suggestions for using these resources. Go ahead and post your questions and comments, and we would love your interaction.
Definitely. So save and share basically anything here with these two major cloud-based storage systems. I mean, you've got Box.net. There's the Microsoft
OneDrive, I believe.
OneDrive, you're right. So there's so many of them out there. These are just two that I've used for years now. You know, Dropbox mainly is what I started with, and then Google Drive. I've been starting to really incorporate a lot of things with just my Google account, since everything can be in one spot. It's easy to find. But Dropbox, what's nice is, and even Google Drive, is a lot of these cloud-based storages is great for sharing large files back and forth with clients. So if you're working with a graphics team, or you have a large file download that's 20 megabytes, well, that's not probably going to be able to go through many corporate email systems due to the size. So you build out a shared Dropbox, connect your client yourself to that. Now you have a nice, easy way of transporting large files back and forth, collaborating on those. It's not going to be as real-time in collaboration when it comes to sharing a Word document or an Excel sheet in Dropbox as it would be if we were using Google Drive and their native applications like Sheets, Docs, Slides, and Forms. Those you can be in the same doc at the same time, updating and collaborating in real time with people, and both editing the file at the same. And it's great. I just did that with a partner last couple of weeks, and we were both inside the Google Doc basically equivalent of a Word doc, and moving sections around, commenting, approving a lot of stuff. It was so helpful, and a huge time saver. So those are the two benefits really of these two type of things, and I'm sure everyone has a Dropbox or a Google Drive or OneDrive or some kind of cloud-based storage that's out there. But what it does is a lot of other apps that we are using will back up to or will connect to like a Dropbox. For instance, I'm using a WordPress backup tool. It's Backupify, that will automatically send my WordPress backups every week to a Dropbox for each client that I have. That way I actually have the backup of their system as well as the server. I do this because of one thing: I just don't want there to be any issues where they, if someone thinks that they have a backup, I'm making sure that the backup is there. And then I save them off to an external drive as well as another way of tackling the backup issue for WordPress.
That's really smart, Jeff. That's really smart.
One other thing that I did last time here, let me see if this clicks through. And tell me if my screen still shares here.
It's still sharing, yes.
Oh, good. So here is a very, very quick landing page website that is hosted on Dropbox through a tool, a website called pancake.io. And you really just go and create a text file, or you can create HTML. And this is very fitting. Again, it's throwback. It's Thursday, so Throwback Thursday, when we all had a handheld gaming with these little games where you just push the button, the water go up, in the water, and the rings would go into the game there. So really, this was a way of utilizing your Dropbox to create a very one-off, quick website page that you can go and maybe you have an event coming up, or maybe you have something for a volunteer organization. You just don't have the time to go secure a web host or create a WordPress site or something. You just want one quick thing. Well, there you go. You can easily go to pancake.io, sign up, and create a nice little web page. Okay.
Very cool. Hey, Jeff, just to let you know, we did have a question come in.
Sweet.
It said, I had Dropbox, but hated how it rearranged files on my laptop. Can you use Dropbox without affecting how your files appear in your PC or Mac?
So meaning it's going to synchronize across all your devices. So, and you can set to say, what devices do you need synchronized? I'm sorry. So I'm here at home. My kids just walked in and brought me lunch. So hopefully everyone else has their lunch, but I'm not going to eat while we're here. But that was really nice.
That was very nice of your kids to feed you. So you were saying it is possible to choose which files are synchronizing across all of the devices? So
you can choose which directories you want. So therefore, I have some files on my folder that I keep in my Dropbox account just because I use it as my main source where I'm trying to look for a lot of the information I need. I don't replicate any of my home, personal, or finance documents to my phones or to my Dropbox account. So I can say don't do that with inside the preferences. It's going to once you put a file into a Dropbox folder, it's going to then replicate out to all of your different devices, and that's the function of what it's doing. So really, each device is holding a copy of that file. Because if you disconnect your Dropbox from, let's say you have two desktops or a laptop that you have, a desktop computer, a mobile device, and you disconnect your laptop, well, the files are still going to stay on there, but they're no longer going to synchronize.
Okay. So I guess it is possible just not to download the desktop app version of Dropbox and not have those folders there. But for me, I find that's one of the easiest way for me to move around my audio and video files is to use the desktop version. Especially if it's a large file, I can just kind of drag and drop it. But as we stated, you could simply just not download the desktop app to help you manage that part, correct?
I think so. I mean, you can just always go to Dropbox.com and do that, or synchronize it to your mobile devices and such as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that question.
Yeah. So hitting here on automation. So this is the real key to your time and saving your time, is using a couple different type of automation or scheduling tools. I just included these three. They're Buffer's a lot different than, of course, IFTTT, which is now called If, and then there's a Do platform on there as well. And then Zapier is the same type of concept as IFTTT. So both of those are websites that connect one web app to another. For instance, you can say, when I post an image to Instagram, I want that photo to go to my Facebook company page if I use the hashtag ChescoMG or Chesco Marketing in my on my Instagram photo. And what's nice about that is you cannot share an Instagram photo to a company page from the Instagram app. You can share it to your personal Facebook account, but you cannot share it to a company page. So
actually, you can. I will show you how to do that. Yes.
Is that new?
Possibly it's new, but I've set it up for a couple of clients. You have to go into settings on the Instagram app to do it, but you can post out to a Facebook company page. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But if you got IFTTT set up already, or
I would just do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, do it that way. Why not?
Because that was one thing that I knew you couldn't do. So if that's changed, then that's awesome. Because most people that I've worked with are like, no, we can't do this. So we just couldn't do it. But anyway, that was one. Another nice automation tool is, and if this then that is, you creating recipes. So there's a lot of different recipes out there in the terms of, you can do weather apps, you could do, if I've shared, what was I going to say, I've done one here. This is a kind of nice one. I shared it at the last event. Was on Twitter. I went through and I made a nice search, a search to say if anyone is tweeting the hashtag ChescoMG or CCMG or Chester County Marketing, anything when it comes to that, I want to know the tweets in this area, around Exton, Downingtown, and such like that. Add those people to a private Twitter list, and then I'm going into that. So anytime someone does it, they'll be added to the private Twitter list that I can go through, look around, and say, hey, who was added? How can we maybe they're a thought leader or something in the area, and we can reach out to them and connect, invite them to an event, such like that. So Zapier is a little bit more robust than IFTTT, meaning you can connect things like your QuickBooks account, a lot of CRM packages. You have to pay for the version there. So that's one big difference between IFTTT. Right now, that's completely free with unlimited recipes, unlimited tasks per recipe. So if you had something firing every time the weather changes, it's going to send a message to either Twitter, Facebook, wherever you decide to have it go. It's going to send a message at that time. It can be 5 times a day. It could be 10 times a day. Now Zapier is going to limit you on the free account to, I believe it's 5 zaps, which is their equivalent of a recipe, and then you get only, I believe it's 15 or 20 tasks at a time. You can upgrade that by paying or by referring new members to join and sign up. So there's 100 free tasks is what you get per month.
Got it.
So Buffer is a way to really schedule out some social media posts. It can connect to your LinkedIn company page, I believe. I think they can do Google+. I have not done that for that because I use other means to send to Google+. And you can do Facebook page, and Twitter. And you go in there and schedule them out over the course of the day by setting up a schedule for each one of those networks to say, I want, anytime that you click Buffer, which means I want to delay my post until this time, you can go in and say, I want, anytime I click Buffer, I want it to go to Facebook at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 p.m., and then 9:30 at night. When you start to queue those up, they're going to wait until those set times and then send out the message at that time. So it's a little bit more freedom when it comes to scheduling. But you don't get to schedule the exact time and buffer off without going in and changing the times it's set. Another great scheduling tool would be Hootsuite, but we've talked about that, and we could spend literally a whole day on talking about that one.
I think you're right.
So click here so we can get through. Oops. So Feedly and Pocket are really, like I mentioned earlier, are just great ways of bringing down RSS feeds or blog articles that are out on the interwebs, and to really understand all the stories that you need to keep ahead with. Feedly, I think, is wonderful. I will connect all of SEO, social media, digital marketing, and these will become like their topics. And inside of that, I can connect as many blogs that I would want to have inside of each one of those, like buckets or categories. It's great because, one, you can quickly read, you can quickly save, so that way you can go back at the end of the day or at night while you're trying to relax and read your articles, or read them first thing in the morning, instead of taking the time throughout the day, because that's where a lot of us get sidetracked a lot when it comes to finding great articles. You read one article, you go to the next article, you go to the next, you find out it's an hour and a half later, and you're like, crap, I got to get all this work done that I did, but I read a lot of great articles.
Exactly.
Because you have to keep up with this stuff, because it is ever changing. So both of these are great. If you're using one or the other or none, I would highly recommend Feedly. What's nice is you can go and press the share button, and you can share right to your buffer, or right to Evernote, or send an email. So it's very nice when it comes to, it's a little bit of automation right there with that. Feedly can even be pulled into, I believe, into IFTTT, or through another one of those types of apps. We can connect right in and do some automation. So the last thing here was going to be this freelancersunion.org. Again, it's just a great resource that I found a couple months ago that's really geared to the freelancer and the small biz owner. Some of the really cool features that I've used is they have a great, basically fill-in-the-blank contract creator. How many times, a lot of freelancers or people go out and say, gosh, I can never get my contracts written correctly, or I don't know what to include. Well, they will include a lot of things and walk you basically through this really nice creator to make your contract. So you start with basic info, you put in your scope of work, it gives you an idea of what the scope of work should include, you type in the business name, it replicates that, you talk about your payment information, you talk about any clauses or conditions, what happens if there's a dispute, and then the agreement page, and you fill out all this information, click it, makes a PDF, and goes on. So again, it's freelancersunion.org. It's free to really become just a member, and they send out really great articles every day. There's a big community out there, and the back of the page was talking about things such as purchasing healthcare, life insurance, liability insurance, and even setting up retirement accounts. So if you don't have a spouse or someone that is working full time, and you're a freelancer, you're not going to have the access to those types of services. So these people offer it to you in a group benefit and package, and they give you a nice deal on all that stuff. So there's over 250,000 people that are signed up on that account. So those were just a couple of the accounts, a couple of the apps that are out there. I've been using Asana here for project management. It's really, really nice. Rike is another one. There's Solo, there's Trello, which is those are all really when it comes to project management type tools that teams can use to organize anything.
Very cool.
Yeah, so those are great. QuickBooks and FreshBooks, Wave are accounting apps that are great. Wave is free. QuickBooks, there's a cost. FreshBooks, there's a cost. Hootsuite mentioned that many times at our events and on these Hangouts. Awesome for just scheduling and managing multiple social media networks. Sunrise is a calendar. It just was bought by Microsoft or acquired by them, I believe. It's nice. So it's a Sunrise app that goes on your phone, and you can connect all of your calendars to it and know everything that's going on at a moment's notice. So there's countless other apps out there. So this slide deck's going to be available. I think do we put it in the show notes or wherever that was? The
we're going to put it. We're going to put a link in the Q&A panel so that everybody has access to it.
Perfect. I have it just shared right up on a Google slide. And here's at the end of the thing, it's going to just be a bunch of the URLs to go and sign up for all those different type of web apps, and hashtag no excuses.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
by doing that, learning about these tools, learning about these apps, using them, finding how they can fit into your organization and business is going to be key to really becoming more efficient. So I try to leave you with that.
Fantastic. Jeff, thank you so much for